With a 4-16 record, the Oakland A's are going to be leaving California, and after the 2026 season, they're going to be moving to Las Vegas. They bought some land in Nevada, and they're going to be getting out of Dodge. You really can't blame, in one regard, you really can't blame that the A's are going to be leaving, because the city of Oakland is a disaster. It is run into the ground by overregulation, which was one of the big reasons they had all kinds of problems finding a new piece of land for the A's to play. It's because all the regulations that they've had to deal with, all the sort of hoops and all the sort of government regulation that city created. Now, we know that the attendance has not been good in the history of Oakland in terms of the A's. When they had those great teams in the 70s, they did not do well in terms of attendance. A lot of times during these playoff games and World Series games, they struggle to fill the ballpark, which is terrible. They are not really the number one team in the area in Northern California. They're the second team. As you know, the San Francisco Giants are the number one team in Northern California. And as you know, the Los Angeles Dodgers are the number one team in Southern California. They always beat Kings out there. And there's all these other teams that are behind. I would mention this, that the 5 California teams, the 2 in the American League and the 3 in the National League, they are all at or below 500. The only team above 500 are the Angels, and that's not going to last long with that bad pitching. The Dodgers, surprisingly, are under 500. The Giants are woefully bad, even though they beat the New York Mets on Saturday. The Padres, a big disappointment. Bob Melvin's having to juggle that lineup after getting Fernando Tatis Jr. back. So things are not looking so great for California baseball. But as you know, the A's are 4-16. They are now currently on pace to lose 32 games. Let me say this again. They are on pace to lose 32 games. They're going to win 32 games and lose 130 games. 32 and 130, which would shatter the 1962 New York Met record. Now, as you know, the team, they don't spend money. The owner, John J. Fisher, doesn't spend money on his team. He's owned the team since 2005, and he builds these teams up, and then when these teams are ready to move these veteran players, he trades them for young players, and he starts all over again. That is not a good recipe for long-term success, because what that does is it disenfranchises the fans that do go there and the fans that do care about the team. And when that happens, you're going to have a lot of disgruntled people and people that can't attach themselves to a player. Now, from what I understand, the neighborhood in which the ballpark sits in has deteriorated since 2017. Now, the ballpark in the neighborhood has deteriorated since 2017. I would expect that the team is not too enamored with wanting to stay there, and they've been pushing pretty hard to get a new ballpark. Now, as you know, if you're a Met fan, and if you're just a fan in general, you know that they have all kinds of problems with all kinds of animals running around that ballpark. The ballpark is overrun by stray cats. It is overrun by possums. We know when the New York Mets were in Oakland last week that the broadcaster's booth was overrun by possums. They could not go in there. The smell was so horrific that they had to do it next door. You can't have this happening. You can't have these critters and these vermin taking over a ballpark in 2023. I mean, this is crazy. So that tells you that the city doesn't care about the cleanliness of the ballpark. They don't care about the cleanliness of the people that are going into the ballpark, having to deal with these creatures and these animals. You cannot allow that to happen. So that tells you they don't take it seriously. And quite frankly, the team doesn't take it seriously either. To allow these animals and this vermin to basically take over the ballpark. I know a lot of people love cats, but you can't allow the ballpark to be overrun by them. You cannot allow that to happen. You have to go in there and get them the hell out of there. That's as simple as that. But they didn't do that. And now you understand why the Oakland A's are going to be the Las Vegas A's, or the Las Vegas Athletics. And to be honest, I don't really feel that bad for the fans, because the fans could have pushed very hard to get them a new ballpark, and there didn't seem to be any kind of real big push for that to happen. It seems like the people that live in Oakland don't care about baseball. It seems like people that are living on the outskirts of Oakland are the ones going to the ballpark, and it's just not enough. It's unsustainable, obviously. But again, from just my point of view, the biggest culprit as to why the Athletics are leaving Oakland is the government there. If they had a more less restrictive government, they would have had a ballpark a long time ago. With a ballpark that was more cohesive in terms of how many people were going to come to the ballpark. Maybe they could have found a ballpark that had like 35,000, 40,000 seats in it, instead of this huge, massive stadium that was retrofitted for football. I would mention also that the Raiders left, and used to have a basketball team, and they left too. So this city cannot maintain any kind of major league team, any kind of professional team. Oh well. Let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Head too. Thank you, and I'll see you later.